scholars, researchers, the all participants. My name is Venerable Thidongdek. It's the real honor and privilege to be the moderator together with Dr. Evin Kumar Singh, the organizing secretary of this Buddha Talk series. So before starting our virtual Buddha Talk series today, I would like to invite all of us to put our hands together to recite the Buddha names for 3 times in Pali language. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome all of you to our webinar on the occasion of the 7th International Yoga Day in the series of Buddha Talk, with a special reference to the topic Mindful Yoga, the Art and Science of Healthy Body and Mind by Dr. Batsung Phe, organized by School of Buddhist Studies and Civilization, Gautam Buddha University, in collaboration with International Buddhist Confederation. Our program should be as follows. First, welcome address by Dr. Niti Rana, Dean School of Buddhist Study and Civilization, Gautam Buddha University. Second, introducing the team by Professor Bhagavati Prakash Sharma, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Gautam Buddha University. Third, addressed by our chief guest, the most venerable Dr. Dhammapiya, Secretary General of International Buddhist Confederation. Now, and we come to the keynote speaker today, Dr. Batsung Phe. And we come to the Q&A section in relation to our speaker's speech. And the last one, vote obtained by our Dr. Davin Kumar Singh. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Niti Rana, Associate Professor, Dean, School of Buddhist Study and Civilization at Gautam Buddha University, for the welcome address. So welcome you, ma'am, Dr. Niti Rana. Over mic to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. You are. Yes, ma'am. You are audible, ma'am.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Greetings from India. On behalf of School of Buddhist Studies and Civilization, Gautam Buddha University, I welcome all to celebrate International Day of Yoga in collaboration with International Buddhist Confederation. I welcome our chief guest, Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya, Secretary General, International Buddhist Confederation. I welcome our renowned speaker, Dr. Phe Bach, lifelong learner, meditation practitioner from Sacramento, California, to deliver his talk on mindful yoga, the art and science of healthy mind and body. I also welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor B.P. Sharma, the guiding light behind this Buddha Talk series. I wish all a mindful living and great success on International Day of Yoga. Thank you.
Whenever,
yes, sir.
In the meantime, you connect me. I will introduce about the
Yes.
I will introduce about the Buddha Talk.
Okay, sir. Sir, VC available now, sir? The VC, sir, is...
Oh, yeah, please invite him. Please invite.
Okay, sir. So, thank you very much, Dr. Niti Rana, for the welcome address to all our guests and chief guests, especially our keynote speakers today. So now I would like to invite Professor Bhagavati Prakash Sharma, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Gautam Buddha University, for introducing the team today. So please, sir. Over mic to you, sir. Professor B.B. Sharma. Dr. Pradeep Thomas, please make our VC as a co-host.
Namaste, sir. सर आपका वेट कर रहे हैं सर. Good morning and thank you, Mr. Dhampiya ji.
So once again, we would like to invite Vice Chancellor, the Professor Sharma, BB Sharma, sir. Over mic to you, sir.
Yeah, he sir is facing some technical issue, so he will just able to join. In the meantime, we have
So should I invite Most Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya, sir?
go ahead.
Okay, Namaskar, Bandaji. So please welcome our chief guest today, the Most Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya, the General Secretary of International Buddhist Confederation. So we would like to invite you for the chief guest speaker. So welcome you, Bandaji, the Most Venerable Dhammapiya.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. A very good morning to all venerable masters, venerable nuns, bhikkhunis, esteemed upasakas, upasikas, brothers, sisters in Dhamma, and all those who are present in this webinar or Dhamma Talk series today. Today, 21st June 2021, we are celebrating 7th UN International Yoga દિવસ. 7th UN International Yoga Day. On this special occasion, I, on behalf of International Buddhist Confederation, IBC, International Buddhist Confederation, IBC, would like to extend greetings, best wishes to all of you, and hope during this COVID-19 pandemic situation, you stay healthy, happy, and peaceful, and safe, stay home and at your workplace. The topic chosen today in this Dhamma Talk series or the talk series is the art and science of yoga for health, both physical and mental health. Yoga is a technique. It is a practical applications of the knowledge that the rishis and munis, the saints and sages, they have developed and practiced, experienced, and communicated to the upcoming generations thousands of years back in India. So the yoga is a cultural heritage, a spiritual heritage, or whatever you want to say, or the knowledge system that India has seen for a long time. Even before Sakyamuni Buddha, this Sankhya Yoga, the system of thought, they were practiced or discussed in India. Yoga talks about not only the physical exercises. When we speak about yoga, normally the picture comes to our mind is some sort of physical exercises, asanas, postures, like that. And this is very much prevalent now in the West, where the yoga is taken some sort of only physical exercises that also in a modified form, maybe to suit the mindset and the environment and the culture of the West. But that is not the only thing. Yoga has different stages. The first is preparatory stage. Like in Buddha Dhamma, we have the first step on the path of Dhamma is sila, or the morality, the disciplining. So also in yoga, the preparatory stage is also there. Before one is to take off the yoga to practice, one has to prepare oneself physically and mentally. That's why we have the yama, niyama as the first initial stages to be followed. That means disciplining oneself physically, mentally, refraining from the kind of activities or habits which are detrimental, immoral, and practicing certain habits and developing certain principles or discipline that will be conducive for both physical exercises and mental well-being, the concentration of the mind. In this way, it moves on to the next stage, that is asana, where once a person is prepared physically and mentally and have developed good habit, good discipline, physically, mentally, then actual exercise, asanas, the pranayama starts. The breathing exercise and different kinds of physical exercise, they are being undertaken. But this is not the end. It is not only for physical health. Yoga is not only for physical health. That's what we have to understand. It is for holistic well-being. When we talk about well-being, it is not only the physical health or mental health of a person. It is a holistic overall well-being of a person, of the community, and the society at large. Because society is nothing but the collective individuals living together So when the collective individuals, they practice yoga as it is prescribed or stated in the Yoga Sutra or in the Astanga Yoga, then when every individual is disciplined, have good habit, good mind, positive mind as preparatory ground, and do practice yoga as physical and mental exercises, pranayama and asanas, then slowly it goes up to dharana, dhyana, samadhi, where samadhi is the highest of yoga practice. In Buddhism also, we have sila, samadhi, panya. So sila is disciplining, moral uprightness, moral good conduct, and from there, when we practice samatha vipassana, it is something like this pranayama. Of course, not pranayama. Pranayama is breathing exercise, controlling the breath, either long breath or deep breath, something like that, holding the breath. But in case of samatha meditation or vipassana meditation in Buddhism, one is to focus on the breath and sensation and be aware of everything that's happening at a physical level, a mental level, or even in environmental level. Just observe and be equanimous, non-reactive, and understand the phenomena as it arises and passes away. That is how we practice in Buddhism. And from there, we go to samadhi, where samadhi is a stage. A person, after continuously and persistently practicing vipassana or samatha for a long time, minds become concentrated at one particular point, either it is a breath or sensation, for a longer period of time, and it gets to of the absorption, unwavering mind. It's called samadhi, unwavering mind. And this samadhi, unwavering mind, is also known as in yoga system as chitta vritti nirodha. It means rippleless state of mind. There's no mental modifications. The thoughts, all those modifications, they come to a nirodha stage. And that is a stage where fully only supreme bliss is experienced because mind becomes only its own original states called samadhi, consciousness, pure consciousness, no wavering, no ripple, no modification. But when we compare it to Buddhism, there it doesn't stop at samadhi alone or samadhi only. It moves one step further. It's called panya or wisdom. So when mind gets concentrated, it becomes very sound, tranquil, unwavering, no ripples, no mental situations. Then minds, it's by itself develops the inner mind, inner understanding, penetrative understanding of the phenomena of body and mind, whereby it understands every atomic particle or subatomic particle that is undergoing within the framework of body and mind. And this is how actually the art and science of yoga, or we say samatha, vipassana meditation, they are to be understood. It is not a knowledge system where something is said, this is what the yama, niyama, pranayama, whatever you It's given, you must follow it, and you cannot question it. That is not the case. Any knowledge system, either it is in the scriptural text or in a philosophical text or wherever, where there is no scope for verification, for understanding, for analysis, there is no science. Because science is always progressing, it always moves forward. It's open for verification, it's open for analysis, it's open for understanding. So yoga and this samatha vipassana meditations open for anybody to practice by oneself and understand, analyze, verify, and experience oneself. The experience of yoga and the meditation may vary from person to person. That is why yoga system is a scientific system. It follows certain procedures. It's open for verification analysis. I would like to congratulate and thank Dr. Arvind Kumar Singh ji and GBU, BC, and our venerable Thing Dongman, who is now anchored here, MC, for organizing this Dhamma Talk series on this special occasion today. We hope it is an occasion to create awareness among the people when we are passing through the COVID-19 pandemic, that we can make use of this knowledge system of yoga, samatha, and vipassana meditation to keep ourselves happy, healthy, safe, and also peaceful, and do something good for the welfare and benefit of all living beings. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, most venerable Dr. Dhammaviya. And thank you so much for enlightening us about yoga on the occasion of the 7th International Day of Yoga. For you have emphasized the first step is Shila Samadhi Panya Bunya, and also the focus on the Sanan and Pranayama. He also the focus on the two kinds of health very important to us, in physical health and mental health. And he emphasized of the highest yoga practice is Dhyana Samadhi. He also gave a general view of a comparison between yoga in India and also yoga in Buddhism. And samatha and vipassana meditation also taught by him. And the last one, see, he emphasized the supreme happiness, a supreme peace by a Nirodha stage. So once again, thank you very much, the most venerable Dhammaviya. And now we would like to invite our Vice Chancellor, Gautam Buddha University, Professor Bhavati Prakash Sharma, for introducing of the team on this occasion. So over mic to you, sir.
Fine, thank you. So at the outset, I convey my compliments to all the delegates and dignitaries present here on the day of International Yoga, as well as the Yoga Day, which we have been celebrating since time immemorial. So my best compliments to all the participants, as well as to the entire world. As a yoga is considered to be yoga chitta vritti nirodha. That is, I think, all the deliberate actions of the cortical memory of the mind, they come to rest. And I think the person feels a sense of integration with the cosmos. It has already been said that yoga is integration of body, mind, and intellect. Now here, I would like to mention two things. One is, these days, a number of researchers have revealed that in addition to the cortical memory, that is the memory and thought process of mind, the heart of a person is also the storehouse of memories, and it also, I think, cultivates a variety of habits and inclinations in a person. And even these days, people have started talking of not only cortical memory and cardiac memory, but cellular memory. That is, every cell of the body has memory and thought process. And therefore, when we talk of integrating body, mind, and intellect, then I think it can bring in harmony all the aspects of human life, right from his physiology to his thought process and his integration with the overall cosmic influences over the human body. Another most important thing is that these days, across the world, people have inclined to perform various yogic exercises or asanas or pranayams or various in various ways yoga is being pursued, mudras and several things. And almost more than 150 universities have been doing research on various facets of yoga. And the simplest of the yoga is deep breathing, that is increasing the time span between two breaths. And this has also been termed as pranayama. And none the less than a Nobel laureate has conducted a controlled experiment who got her Nobel Prize on stress-induced aging. And that why stress causes aging in some people, and some people do not feel such kind of aging in spite of stress. And she found that the chromosomes have a cap called telomeres. And if the telomeres are longer, then a person would not experience fast aging in spite of any amount of stress. But those persons whose telomeres are shorter, they have the problem of stress-induced aging. And after winning this Nobel Prize, after a couple of years, she conducted an experiment. She took a group of persons, measured their telomeres, that is, telomeres can be measured from saliva only, no blood sample is required. And then he divided that group into two subgroups. One group was asked to perform deep breathing for 90 days for 12 minutes a day in the morning. And the another group was asked to do an aerobic exercise for the same time span, 12 minutes for 90 days. And after 90 days, to her astonishment and to the astonishment of a large number of people, that the group which performed deep breathing for 12 minutes for 90 days, their telomerase has improved by 43%. And therefore, the way these days various scientific experiments and controlled experiments are performed with respect to yoga, they have been corroborating all the benefits which have been described in the scriptures from yoga. And I think yoga is a thing which talks of uniting body, mind, and cosmos. Likewise, yoga has united the whole world also. When this proposal 7 years back was moved by the Prime Minister of India, it was seconded by the Prime Minister of Nepal, and then it has received maximum number of co-sponsors, which had never happened in the history of the United Nations organization. And ultimately, it was passed unanimously. And therefore, what do I feel? Anyone these days, more than 100 countries must be celebrating yoga, and therefore yoga has brought a large number of countries also together. And I give a lot of credit to all those yoga gurus who have kept yoga alive for last several millennia. Very recently, in last 20 years, some archaeological excavations were performed in Tamil Nadu at Kodumanal. And there they have found an industrial township where steel mills have also been discovered. Gem processing or jewel processing units have also been discovered. Textile mills have also been discovered. They are all 2,500 years old. And vitrified crucibles have also been discovered there, which are 2,500 years old. That is, the Indians knew vitrification process, which normally we say Europe has developed a vitrification process, we say Euro-vitrified tiles and all these things. They have found human skeletons sitting in Padmasana. So it means yoga and vitrification process both went on side by side at Kodumaral 2,500 years ago. And this reminds us that people have been practicing yoga since time immemorial. That is number one. Another important thing is that yoga gurus have traveled from India across the entire world to Europe, America, and Southeast Asia, everywhere. And they have established the yogic gurukuls or yogic schools or like that. And it was only by virtue of that in last 50 to 70 years, the yogic teachers from India have traveled to all parts of the world. And that is why this resolution in the UN could easily be approved. Another important thing which I want to mention, that no doubt 7 years back when Prime Minister of India has moved this proposal in the United Nations, even before that, Portuguese Parliament had unanimously resolved to declare 21st June as International Yoga Day, and they called upon the UNESCO to do so. And if you will visit the website of the Portuguese Parliament, you will find that unanimous resolution which says that Yoga of India has unique power of integrating body, mind, and intellect of a person, and therefore the UNESCO should declare it as an International Day of Yoga. So how could the Portuguese Parliament come to such a conclusion? It was because the yoga gurus had traveled to Portugal also, in addition to other countries of Europe. And that is how people got inclination, this kind of a strong inclination towards yoga. So today, on the day of yoga, and I would also like to go into the historical development of the day of yoga. How this 21st June was picked up as the day of yoga. Actually, when the Saptarishis requested Lord Shankar, ki we also want to learn yoga, that day was day of summer solstice. ग्रीष्म अयनांत जिसको कहते हैं, जिस दिन सूर्य दक्षिणायन होते हैं. तो सूर्य के दक्षिणायन का जो दिन है, the day of summer solstice, it was 21st June on which summer solstice happens and सूर्य दक्षिणायन होते हैं. On that day, Lord Shiva consented to impart education of yoga to Saptarishis. Then he started teaching Saptarishis from the next Purnima, that is which we call as Guru Purnima. The Purnima of Ashad month is called Guru Purnima because from that day, Lord Shankar started teaching Saptarishis the yogic exercises or yoga. And since that time, all the yogic schools and gurukuls in India were observing the day of summer solstice as Yoga Day, and summer solstice happens to fall upon 21st June. And therefore, what I feel that this scriptural tradition of India, which we have inherited since last several millennia, has also been respected by the whole world and has been accepted as International Yoga Day. Now, coming to this another aspect of yoga, that no doubt, normally as my predecessor was also talking, that some people have connotation, yoga means asana. We normally forget the yam and niyam. Unless we pursue them, we cannot derive the entire benefit of asanas. So yam, niyam, asan, dhyan, dharana, pratyahar, samadhi, all these things, ashtanga yoga, all the eight-folded yoga has to be pursued. In addition to that, very few people have been practicing mudras, though in old days, whenever a person performed his morning or evening prayer, 24 mudras were to be displayed. And these days we have found that person having a high cholesterol, if he sits for 45 minutes in Agni Mudra, then his cholesterol level comes down. A person having osteoporosis or certain other problems of his bones, then if he sits for 45 minutes in Prithvi Mudra, then it relieves that from osteoporosis. So this way, even there are several mudras. So right from Yam Niyam to asana and mudras and other components of yoga, I think there are three things. One should practice all these 8-folded yogic activities. We should also conduct experiments like Elizabeth Blackburn so that we can establish the scientific benefits of yoga. And third thing, we should train our new generation that they should live with yoga so they would be more healthy and we can ensure global well-being through that. And another most important thing is, unless we control our thoughts, unless we have non-selfishness, unless we have integrity, unless we have faith in ourselves, so we have to develop all these psychological characters also. I think this would also help us to attain the benefits of yoga in a better manner, because as I have already mentioned in the beginning, yoga chitta vritti nirodha, yoga chitta ki vrittiyon ka nirodh hai. And chitta is, Ayurveda also talks of chitta which resides in the heart. And these days people have found many evidences. Even these days many heart transplants have taken place. And in the heart transplantation, a lady who never tasted liquor, but when a heart of a person who died in the accident was transplanted and he was addict of beer, so that lady after that heart transplant also started liking beer. Or where a foundry worker was transplanted with the heart of a pianist, piano playing girl. So all of a sudden, when he just after this heart transplant, he started loving piano. And in another, it is a reported case by Bruce Lipton and many biologists that a girl was murdered and her heart was transplanted into another girl. And that another girl started experiencing dreams of threat to her life. And when she narrated all these things, psychiatrists advised her parents that you consult police, and ultimately police inquired all the aspects from her. And she described the murderer exactly who he was, and his attire, dress, everything. And ultimately, police could nab that murderer who had murdered that girl whose heart was transplanted into a recipient girl. And therefore, I think when we say yoga chitta vritti nirodha, and we say chitta resides in the heart also, so it is the mind, body, heart, and all the body cells. As these days we talk of cellular memory. So I think yoga would bring in harmony the body, mind, heart, intellect, and all the cells and tissues of the body in harmony for the overall well-being of a person. With this, I once again convey my compliments to all present here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, our Vice Chancellor. Thank you very much for enlightening us many things about the yoga today on the occasion of the 7th International Day of Yoga. First, he emphasized the definition of yoga as Chitta Vritti Nirodha, about mind, body, and intellect. And he emphasized various ways of yoga and focus on more than 160 universities doing research on yoga. And basically, he also tried to find out practical researches on yoga and give prominent examples of guru doing yoga for the benefit on human beings. And Our visits also emphasize India yoga as unique and recognized by our UNESCO. That's why we have a reason here for the 7th International Yoga, and he summed out some in the historical development of yogas and suggestions for experience and training center development for global well-being, physically, mentally, and psychologically in harmony and well-being. On thank you very much, our VC. So. Now, I would like to invite our main speaker today, Dr. Febat, for the main topic, the mindful yoga, the art and science of healthy body and mind. So let me give some brief introduction of our Dr. Febat. Dr. Febat teaches chemistry, honors chemistry in Mira Holona High School in Sacramento, and he is a lifelong learner and mindfulness practitioner. He's under student of Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh and other prominent Buddhist teachers. He has been teaching mindful leadership and mindfulness in the classroom to educators in California since 2014. And he teaches classes for teacher preparation programs. He has been a professional development presenter with Stanford in Instructional Leadership Corporation in collaboration between California Teachers Association, Stanford Center for Opportunity Policy in Education, and the National Pearl Resource Center in Stanford University since its inception. Furthermore, Dr. Febat has facilitated a variety of workshop topics across academic curriculum, including educational pedagogy, management, educational leadership, mindfulness, and mental well-being. He received his Bachelor of Science degree in biology from University of Nebraska Lincoln, pursued a PhD program in bioorganic chemistry, and holds a teaching credential at UC Davis. Additionally, he earned his master's degree in educational leadership and policy studies in California State University, Sacramento, and a doctoral degree in educational leadership and management from Drexel University with a concentration in human resources and development. He is a presenter and contributor of academic papers in the USA and throughout the world, including Thailand, India, Spain, and Vietnam. Furthermore, he is an advocate and leader in his community. Now, he is also an author, poet, and author enthusiast. And during his free time, Dr. Febat enjoyed activities, sport, poetry, travel writing. His contribution to the community to Northern California, enhancing the mutual understanding, respect, and love that we have for each other. His contribution of mindfulness in teachings to the youth groups, educators, and others enrich their life perspectives, school performance, and community harmony. Dr. Bat is a mindfulness practitioner and has been volunteering with the Vietnamese Buddhist Youth Association since 1995 and the Buddhist Pathway Bridging Project since 2011. Today, he comes with us on the topic, Mindful Yoga, the art and science of healthy body and mind. So once again, welcome, Dr. Febat. Welcome you.
Thank you, Thai, for your
yes,
introduction. And thank you, Dr. Singh, as well as GBU, give me the opportunity to share with you some knowledge about yoga and mindfulness. Before I do that, I would like to invite the belt, and we're going to take 3 deep breaths. Just like Dr. Sharma said, deep breathing is the key here in yoga. So just take like 3 deep breaths in your nose slowly and out your mouth. So silent, quietness sometimes is the food for your soul, for your mind. So take 3 deep breaths, and we pray for the COVID victims in India, as well in Vietnam and many places. It's our temple here in Kim Quang. We do a lot of fundraising to help out the victim in your country. And there's a lot of people who need help in our prayer. So let's take 2 deep breaths real quick. Well, thank you so much. Okay, well, I'm going to share with you my PowerPoint presentation. And here is my, let me present this. And we have about 40 minutes, and I don't think I'm going to get all this one. So we're going to do this very quickly. I myself teach in chemistry, that's my expertise. On my other jobs, it's just a very kind introduction, it's very lengthy, but basically yoga is is something, is a gift from India. And it is a way of life for many, many people around the world and for Americans. And just like Dr. Sharma say, yoga is basically the union of matters, anything that have mass and take up space in chemistry. But more importantly, it is the union of the body, the mind, and the intellect. So it's a combination, not only your heart, your head, your mind, it's everything else. And when you're united with the self, you no longer identify with the limitation of your body, your mind, the intellect. You are experiences the non-duality. Just like everything, all the matters composed by a tiny little thing called the atoms. And the atoms have three subparticles, the proton, neutron, and electron. And this particular one right here, they have dual properties. They behave as particles, but almost behave as wave as well. So it's very unique. And you know, this is such a wonderful gift that the Indians have given to the world. And in America, back in 1960s, it is almost like a religion. Okay, but nowadays it is a way of life for many people. So what are the benefits of yoga? I think the science Dr. Sharma mentioned and Venerable mentioned really well already. But based on Johns Hopkins University, there are 5 main benefits of yoga. The first one is they improve your strength, the balance, and the flexibility. They help your back. The benefit your heart as well. Deep breathing along. If you take one deep breath in and out, your heart rate they drop down 3 points. One single deep breath. And that is the anchor, that is the key component of this. Yoga also help you relax. They help you sleep better. You have more energy. Your mood is very stable and not very moody. And more importantly, life is so stressful. And yoga help you do just that. They manage our stress. And they also they connect many people together, many families, many communities, and they form a very supportive community. Importantly, it is self-care. You cannot give something that you don't have. That's all the matters of practice, practice, and practice. Yoga, just like you do in brushing your teeth, you have to do it every single day. You don't say, okay, I am brushing my teeth today, and then tomorrow I don't have to do it. It's not like that. Yoga, mindfulness is same thing. And in American cultures, the National Institute of Health and many large organizations, they do many research on this already. So the science of yoga is literally limitless. And there's no word to describe that. It's just the matter of fact is we have to practice, you have to live with it, and we have to experience this. Because this is benefit not only you, but also other people in here, but also in the future. It's almost like the right view in Buddhism. Right? So yoga is a way of life. So what about mindfulness? Well, mindful yoga is my topic. So I want to put in another component on it as well. Mindfulness is basically you paying specific attention on purpose of this present moment of the here and the now without any judgment whatsoever. Okay. Kung Fu Panda say yesterday is history, tomorrow mystery, today is the gift. That is the key. So I'm going to let you watch a quick video, really quick for like two minutes here. What is mindfulness?
You may have heard this word mindfulness. It's become something of a buzz phrase of late. So I'm going to give you one simple, serviceable definition, which is this. Mindfulness is the ability to know what's happening in your head at any given moment without getting carried away by it. Imagine how useful this could be. Just as an example, driving down the road and somebody cuts you off in traffic. How do you normally react? I think most of us, we normally react by having a thought, which is, I'm pissed. And then what happens next? You immediately, habitually, reflexively inhabit that thought. You actually become pissed. There's no buffer between the stimulus and your reaction. With just a little bit of mindfulness, in that same situation, you might notice my chest is buzzing, my ears are turning red, I'm having a starburst of self-righteous thoughts, I'm getting angry. But you don't necessarily have to act on it and chase that person down the road, screaming at them with your kids in the back of the car, thinking you've gone nuts. Now, you might be thinking, don't I need to get angry sometimes? Aren't I justified? I would say yes, but probably not as much as you think. The proposition here is not that you should be rendered by mindfulness into some lifeless, non-judgmental blob. The proposition is that you should learn how to respond wisely to things that happen to you, rather than just reacting blindly. And that, my friends, is a superpower. How do you get it? The way to get it is through meditation. I believe that meditation and mindfulness are the next big public health revolution. In the 1940s, if you told somebody you were going running, they would have said, who's chasing you? But then what happened next? The scientists swooped in, they showed that physical exercise is really good for you. And now all of us do it. And if we don't, we feel guilty about it. And that's where I think we're headed with mindfulness and meditation. It's going to join the pantheon of no-brainers like brushing your teeth, eating well, and taking the meds your doctor prescribed for you. Let me just close by saying, mindfulness is not going to solve all of your problems. It's not going to render your life a nonstop parade of unicorns and rainbows. Nonetheless, this is a superpower, and one that is accessible by you immediately.
All right. So let me go back to this. So keep that in mind, that meditation and mindfulness is the next big things. But yoga is already the big things in America back in 1960s. So it's already proven. You don't have to prove anything else. It doesn't matter the fact that we need practice. And here in California, there are many schools already teaching yoga in PE class, physical education. So physical education, beside the physical education, the mental, the moral characteristic of that is very, very crucial. So they already teaching yoga in American school. As a mindfulness, it's also a very powerful way to handle stress. We live life more peacefully and more meaningful. And it is the energy of presencing. Be present and you sense in just 6 senses of this present moment without judgment whatsoever. Whatever it is, you just recognize it, embrace it, and let it come and let it go. But with the attitude of kindness and compassion. And again, the compassion is the ability for you to bring joys and happiness to other people. But at the same time, you take away their sorrows, okay, their suffering, there's unhealthy and all those things. And also, it's a way to make your life much, much better in many, many ways. And it's importantly, it's also a skill set that dealing with many difficult emotions. And there are, here in California, we have many schools that teaching yoga, mindfulness, and social emotional learning in school already. So let me move it on. So one of the practice it is, I would like you to remember is like first, just breathe. Those are 3 things. So the F is first, represent for the fist. When you get angry or mad, sometimes like, you want to punch somebody. So what we would like you guys to do is go back to your deep breathing, just like the practice in yoga, right? So what you do is you relax the hand. So breathe in and breathe out. So inhale and exhale. So it is a strategy that to help you relax, okay? And remember, things happen, we tend to be reactive right away. So what you want to do is you want to be responsive rather than reactive. So when you relax your fist, the next one is just for jaw. And when you're angry or mad, again, you like this, right? So what you want to do is relax your jaw. You have a fake smile, or sometimes you can, stretch it out or massage it, but you relax the fist, you relax the jaw, and the last one is you relax your body by breathing. Take a deep breath in and out, okay? Just like there are 5 ways of control your big emotion. The first one is do no harm. The second one is always go back and breathe in, because breathing they help you calm down, okay? So recognize your emotion and everything's will be temporary. The next one is is it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. And the last one is literally, it takes time to heal. So there are 5 big ways to control your big emotion. But again, the second way is always go back to your anchor, which is breathing. So breathing is the key. And that is the central, the core concept in yoga. So here is the other activity that you can do. With yoga, you already know, all right? But this with breathing, this is quick way for you to do with your student, a little kid running around, and you can do a shark fin. A shark fin is just like a shark, and this is the fin, and they go into the water. We were scared, right? So when you do shark fin, you tell the student, put the hand in your forehead like this, okay? And they represent for 5 things: sit straight, sit still, sit silently, breathe softly, and eye shut. So you have shark fin, you do like this, kid will be quiet down and say inhale, and you exhale slowly, then you move it down. And the student will come down, will quiet down. So again, the shark fin, tell them to pay attention, and that should be quiet down. Just inhale, and exhale slowly as you bring it down. Okay. So that's a technique to help our young kid to do it. Okay, so before they do a yoga activities or they can do any kind of activities, and that's breathing is really helping them. The other way you can do that one as well is 5 deep breath as well, and you can raise your hand, breathe in and breathe out, breathe in and out, in and out, in and out. All this one is the means to help the kid how to relax, really. So in yoga, you already know that how stress affects your body, not only mentally, but physically and all other disease that associate with, from increased heart rate to stroke, to anger issues, crying your teeth, tension in your jaw. The stress is really affect you physically, mentally. Yoga, mindfulness, they help you to relax, to de-stress all of the emotion that you might have. Okay, so again, that's how stress are. As American, we are very stressful nation. 42% of us report that we are lying awake at night from stress. 42% of American. Okay, so we work like about 9-10 hours a day. All right, and 60 to 80% of the people here in America, they are visit ER, emergency room, due to stress related. So that's why a lot of them, they practice yoga as a way of life, mindfulness, emotional learning, etc. And this one is something not related, but I would like to point it out here is compassion fatigue. As you are in this COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of us, we are fatigued in many different kind of things, include our compassion. So important that you need to recognize the burnout, and then go back and practice. Scientifically, there are 10 ways for you to be happy. Spend more time with your family, move closer to work, go out, sleep more, exercise, practice smiling. Believe it or not, that's one of the ways to make you happy. You help other people. Practice gratitude. Okay, plan a trip, meditate, yoga, mindfulness, those things make you happy. So scientifically, it's an easy way. So, there are formal practice as well as the informal practice. Okay, you can do both. Many people in America, in California, they go to the gym to get formal lessons. But you can do yoga anywhere, anytime, in your home, at your workplace, from the way that you walk, etc. You don't have to go to a formal practice, but you can do informally as well. Right? Same thing with mindfulness. And this is one of the component in American schools that include in social emotional learning. And the emotional intelligence including a part of yoga as one way called self-management. Okay, and that's one also include self-awareness, social awareness, building the relationship with other people, and responsible for the decision making. And this is part of the California curriculum as well. So that's a different topic, but all related. So go back to the mindfulness. Why is it important in yoga, right? Because stimulus happen, we tend to be reactive right away. Okay. With the mindfulness, what you want to do is, things happen, you go back to your anchor, do deep breathing, okay, and then responsive to situation rather than be reactive. Between the fist and the punch, there is a space. And if you can take deep breath, 5 deep breaths or 3 deep breaths, you can give you a little time to responsive rather than reactive. And that's make a huge differences. The differences between the stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space lies our freedom, the power to choose our responses. And within that response lies our growth and freedom. Viktor Frankl, he's a Holocaust survivor. So when you practice yoga and mindfulness, it's not only development of your bodies, but also development of your heart as well. Okay. So here are some of the things that you see in education. They show the kid is more control their own emotion. They show significantly improve their executive functioning skills, as well as reduction in their aggression, as well as social problems. And the teacher also report that if kids that practice mindfulness, they pay attention more, self-control, and they engage in the classroom, and they care for them as well as other people. Kids who are taking yoga classes, they're more likely to be awake, they are more likely to be fit, and they're more likely to be social, emotional, regulated. So it's about science, right? It's all about the science. So here are some of the outcome of these benefits. Not only the cognitive outcome, but social emotional skills, as well as well-being. And I don't want to stress this one long enough, but it is a way of life. And that's what it is. So go back to this. You need to find your anchor. And what is your anchor? Well, remember that those that know, do. Those that understand, teach. So you cannot give something that you don't have. You have to practice mindfulness. And when I first practiced my mindfulness, it's difficult. But as a while, it gets easier and easier. Same thing. When I first tried yoga, my body is so stiff. But the more I practice on it, I slowly open up from my hips to my pelvic, to my everything. It slowly open up. It is just like Venerable said earlier, it's the progress, and you moving forward. It doesn't matter how fast, how slow you moving, as long you're moving in a positive direction. That is the key. All right. So here is one more models that I would like you guys to practice, and then you can teach your student. It's called the peace model. And the peace represent for 5 things. The first one is you stop, you pause, you don't do anything. If whatever situation happened, like when I first got COVID in November, and it's very difficult because I had to isolate, and my wife got it first and I got affected as well, and then my kid. But the real life thing is very difficult. But I also recognize that this will be also temporary as well. So I go back, and that's my chance to practice deep breathing. So during my experiences with COVID, I literally go back to my meditation, my yoga practice, my deep breathing within. And E is basically I exhale. Inhale slowly, exhale slowly. So if you're doing this very correctly, you know, inhale and exhale. That's alone help you calm down of the situation. And the A represents for acknowledgement. Acknowledge that, okay, so I got a COVID or whatever the situation is. You don't want to push it away. Just like happiness come, you accept it, you acknowledge, you accept it, and you allow it, you enjoy it. Same thing with suffering. Just like, you know, this hand, if you want to accept this beautiful in the front, you also accept something beautiful on the back as well. So you acknowledge both. Your wife, your husband, same thing. They come with the whole packet. So acknowledge whatever the big emotion is. They can be good or they can be bad, but acknowledge that, accepting that, right? And then the C is you choose to respond to the situation with compassion for yourself and for other people. And that's important. And lastly is the clarity. Being clear exactly what you want, what is your limitation, and what are you responsible for. And the next one is C also represent courage. Speak the truth. Sometimes you don't know all the answer, and that's okay. But you also want to hear the truth from the other people. Sometimes it's difficult to hear, but you have to do that. And the last one is represent for engage. Engage positively. Benefit you and other people in the here, but also in the future. That's one of the ways for us to do is peace in or peace out. Okay. And in order for us to have peace in the world, we have to have inner peace first. And they spread from the within. That is the key. And you have to practice. Body scan is part of this movement from the East. And it's a lot of benefit as well. They improve concentration. We're not going to do this one. Okay, so you might ask you is how much of this? I think we need to do is more practice. Okay, so why don't we do practice together? Okay, so practice, breathing practice. And there are different kinds of practices. So the very first one is called retention breathing. And I would like you guys to do this. Your back straight if you can. Okay, so the box breathing is you hold your breath on the inhale and exhale. And in this way right here, you stimulate your nervous system, all right? And then there are many different ways of you doing this. And there is the other kind of breathing we call energizing breath. And you hold on from your inhale and you count. Just inhale, you count 1, 2, 3, and then you hold it 1, 2, 3, and you exhale it, and you count 1, 2, 3. So you gradually increasing the number of count from literally from 3 to about as long as like 7, or like some people it's like 8. But slowly you have to practice. And again, this is some of the practice that I would like you guys to do. So I'm going to share with you some of the resources here. In the modified version, I will send this one to Dr. Singh and he pass it out. But I have some resource here that they can help you share with your student from the strategy to calm down to all these things right here. They have how to do this particular exercise and pose effectively with the little kid. And this is all about the art of yoga, the art of breathing, and they have us all this. And we don't have time to go over all this one, but I also have online resources here that you can use from many kids from K5 to high school to other things, and I will share this one with you. I also have another handout as well, the condensed version of the other one that you can share, right? So I'm going to continue with this breathing practices, okay? So here it is. And the way that this breathing, they have two strategies, right? You inhale, and then you hold and you exhale, and continue you in that circle. And this one way right here to help you you're not able to go to fall to sleep. They help you sleep faster. Okay, and this is great personal practice. So your back straight, you inhale, you count 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, and you hold 1, 2, 3, 4. And your breathing is just like this. You inhale and the exhale, you can monitor exactly where it is. And then the moment you stop, they go back into the circle. Okay. All right. The next kind is same thing. This one, the opposite. You exhale first, and then you inhale, and then you hold. And this one is really, really give you the energy to wake up instantly. Okay, let's exhale like that. And inhale, and you hold, and exhale. So you had to practice. So sometimes when you were stressed or something like that, and later you exhale physically, you have to physically flows out and pushing all the air in your lung, inside your lung out. And then you inhale, you count, and then you hold, and you exhale very, very strongly. And that's help you wake up. Okay, and that's a good exercise for you to do in the morning or for every single classes. Right. And here is the box breathing. It's inhales, you hold, exhale, you hold. But this one is like just four things. It's just not like two things. But when you count, it's usually 2 or 3. So your breathing it will be slower. So inhale, hold 1, 2, exhale, hold 1, 2, inhale. And this one right here, they help your body literally rest and digest better. Okay. So there are many kind of practice, but breathing is the key. So I will include this one in the PowerPoint so that Dr. Singh will send it to you. But eventually, you need to make commitment to yourself. It doesn't matter, it's about frequency, that how much you practice. It's not about how long, it's about how much that you practice. So you find time to practice every day if you can. And again, see that as a way of life. So before your bedtime, walk-in, before work, after work, when you stress, just pick a time. The days that you going to do is make progress on yourself. It's all about practice, practice, and practice. Okay. Mindful eating, I don't have time to talk about this, but literally you're eating too fast. So sometimes you have to slow it down. You choose about 20 times before you swallow. When I teach to Americans teachers, and one of the teachers, she says she lose 20 pounds by slow eating. And her husband is also losing as well as losing weight when they practice this, because it takes about 11 minutes for your vagus nerves to communicate to your brain like I am full. But sometimes it's too much, too fast, too quickly. In Vietnamese, they're saying no mắc ngon, dạ mắc khôn, which means you eat too much, it doesn't taste any good. And when you are angry, you're mad, you lose your coolness. Right? So I don't make any decision when I am angry or mad. And when I'm younger, I love buffet, but now I don't. Okay, so when I go out to eat, I want to eat about, not 100%, about 80% if you can. Right? But it takes about 11 minutes for your brain to communicate like I am full, stop eating. Right? So choose well 20 minutes before we eat. 20 times counting, right? And one of the ways in life is, believe it or not, but increase our happiness is to show our gratitude and appreciation. In American companies, the people who are more productive when they practice gratitude and appreciation. And this way right here is literally is the way to go. So next time I encourage you guys to do is at workplace, even write a thank you note. The productivity increase about 50%. Okay. And the capitalism, the social capital increase about 17.5%. Right. So here are many curriculum about teaching mindfulness as well yoga. I posted here and I will share with you. Here are some of the references. And I would like to close this one by American educator John Wesley, and he said this: do all the good that you can, by all the means that you can, in all the ways that you can, at all the times that you can, to all the people that you can, as long as you ever can. That's in the mentality. Okay, so the mentality here is whatever that we do has to benefit you and other people in the here, but also in the future. There is a book called Happy Teachers Will Change the World. All of us are the teachers and we change the world. But we cannot change the world if we don't change ourselves. And that is the key, right? So I would like you guys to do is at your school, have a gratitude box, you know, say something nice to the other people. Okay. So all the things I share with you, that you already know, that's your data. Okay, so now you're going to get into the meanings, you know, how do you get the data into action? What you already know, all these things. You are guru. Many of this, some of you guys already practice, a lot of you guys practice, but so what? And now what? Whatever that we are sharing with each other, make it into the next level, put into action, so they benefit you and other people in the here, but also in the future. Okay, so I stop here. Are there any questions for me?
Thank you very much, Dr. Phebas, for the wonderful presentation today. This is really practical mindful yoga. This is really the art and the science of healthy mind body. Actually, I don't know how to summarize the topic because we already summarized your topic like the letter inference, like that means assumption, conclusion, belief, and actions. And may I give some ideas? First, you give the general matter of yoga, definition of yoga and benefits of yoga. But basically, you focus on your mindful yoga from a Buddhist perspective, mindful yoga, mainly mindfulness. And why mindfulness? And you give us some practice, very interesting and very, how to say, very excellent to us practice. First, just breathe. Just give some abbreviation for us, easy to remember a practice. And you give us the development of mindfulness and heartfulness, and mindfulness education, some science of mindful yoga. And at the end, you give two ways of practice, very, very useful. Peace model, peace for pause, exhale, knowledge, choose, engage for peace, and practice of body scan. And give some prominent and basic resources of yoga. Once again, thank you very much, Dr. Phebas. Now we come to the Q&A section in relation to our speaker speech. Anyone any question? Any question for our speakers today? This is very practical topic for us to overcome our difficulties of COVID-19 pandemic in these days. Any question, you can send a message to us in the inbox. And otherwise, you can ask directly to our speaker, Dr. Phebas from USA.
Well, if not, we're going to give you one more practice for you really quick. This is called somatic hold. Somatic is meaning the body. Okay, you hold your body. So everybody, if you can, put your hand together and do like this. You warm up your hand. And breathing, you know, is a very anchor. You put one your hand on your chest, your heart, and the other one your stomach. Take 2 deep breath in and out. Now you move in your left hand, put on your forehead. You see how hot, how cold it is. Take 2 deep breath in and out. Now put both of your hands on your thighs and relax. Just let it hang in. See how tense your body is. Take 3 deep breaths in and out. Now you can breathe in using your shoulder as well. So you breathe in and out like this. Okay, so in and out 3 times. You stretch your back in and out slowly. You want to crack on yourself, it's okay. Okay, in and out. Now you move the opposite direction, in and out. Okay, all right, so now loosen your both of your hands and take 2 deep breaths in and out. So your breathing is your anchor. That's like yoga, you slowly open it, you know, I mean, you had to practice, and that is the key. But make, you know, committed to yourself, do it little by little every day, and more practice, you get better. All right, but not any man is gonna be perfect. Okay, so any other question?
Any question? Yes. So now, thank you so much. So now I would like to invite Dr. Vin Kumasi, our organizing secretary, and also Director International Affairs of Students, International Affairs of Students of Gautam Buddha University. Please, Dr. Vin Kumasi, for votes of thanks webinar today.
Thanks, Venerable Sit Down Deck, for giving me and inviting me to deliver a vote of thanks. First and foremost, I would like to thank my friend Dr. Sebab for accepting my proposal to deliver his lecture on mindful yoga on this 7th International Day of Yoga, which is celebrated worldwide. And due to him, we have also celebrated, and we have got a lot of information from him as well. And his deliberation was very brilliant and brilliantly presented also. Now, second, I would like to thank International Buddhist Confederation and Dhammapiyaji for accepting our request for to be the chief guest of this event, and also ready to collaborate this event with IBC. And now the our Honorable Vice Chancellor always give a lot of informations, and these information always astonished us. And today also he has given an example of Kodumanal experience and other scientific research that have been going on. So I would like to also thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor for introducing the theme on this event, and the Dean, Dr. Niti Rana, always ready to go ahead with any proposal from the school. So thank you, ma'am. And last but not least, Sit Down Deck, who has brilliantly coordinated and anchored this event. Thank you all, and Kelsang ma'am, all my colleagues and other friends and students for sparing time and joining this event. Thank you very much.
Okay, once again, thank you very much. So may you all be healthy in body, peaceful in mind, happy in life, and successful in your career. And may you soon overcome the difficulties of the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you.